Do you want to learn how to read people? Then today I'm going to show you why body language is one of the best skills to have as an entrepreneur nowadays. Coming up next.
Let me see you put 'em up. Reach the sky, touch the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog. One time for the underdog.
Hey guys, this is Broke to Beast, where we make videos about starting your own business, online or offline, as well as follow along my own journey. Before we start, if you like entrepreneurship and business content, make sure you go down below and subscribe, because we post videos every day about helping you achieve your success in business. Okay, so let's first talk about how I know body language and how I discovered it. When I was in high school, I was trying to learn how to read people. I wanted to know what people were thinking besides what they were actually saying. Because some people were saying something, but at the same time, they were thinking other things, and they were saying that stuff behind my back and their other people's backs. And so I decided that I wanted to read people better so I can understand their true feelings in that moment. And so I decided to start picking up some books. And as you can see in the back there are a few books, a lot of books there about body language and about how to read people that are lying, from ex-police, FBI agents that talk about their techniques and all that. And so I learned a bunch about it. And I even started a blog called simplebodylanguage.com. That's a real name, by the way. And I don't have the blog anymore, but I posted a few cool articles, I'd say, about body language and how to read people. Anyways, body movements are like words, okay? So each body movement that you do is a word in a phrase. And now, obviously, you can't understand the word by itself. There's a meaning for that word. But usually, when you're talking to somebody and they say a whole sentence, you're not just going to read the whole sentence by using one word, right? You have to read the whole sentence put together. So you need to know every single word, and then with all those words, you need to create a context and create a meaning for that sentence and for what the person is feeling. And so you have to do the same thing with body movements. When a person is expressing themselves, they're doing it not only by the phrases that they're saying, but also by their body movements. But they don't have a single body movement. Their whole body is expressing something. And it starts from the top of the head all the way down to the feet. And you have to make sure you understand all of that. So you have to read it all together. The next big concept that you need to understand is that everybody has a baseline. So most of our days are spent in a state of neutralness, right? So let's call it the truth atmosphere, okay? So most of our times we're being truthful, we're saying the right things, and we're in a neutral kind of emotion. We're not too excited, we're not too down, we're just thinking about regular stuff. And although a lot of times we do vary, the variations are not that big. And so big variations only happen when there's a big stressor, outside or inside, that makes us think about, and our body language changes because of that. And so you need to find the neutral line for every person that you try to read. The neutral line means that what is the body position, what are the movements that the person does, and what are the expressions and words the person is using when they are in a neutral state, where they're not excited in some form. And then once you decide the neutral line that a person is at, you can use that to compare to new movements that are shown by the person, and you can compare it to see what kind of emotion they're feeling in a moment. For example, if you're trying to see if a person is lying, the person might be, standing regularly, looking at you in the eyes, but maybe looking at the side sometimes, looking back at you like just a normal person. And then when you ask a question that they try to avoid it, they might maybe start. If they're crossing their legs, they might uncross their legs and put their hands on their thighs. They might, if they had the legs crossed but everything was still, they might start moving their feet, or they might change their body position or their head position. They might tilt their head one side or the other. All these things are deviations from the neutral line, and you need to understand that these are the clues to decipher the puzzle of what the person is feeling. But just be mindful that lying is not an emotion, okay? So a lot of people think that, oh, how do I detect lying? It's an actual emotion, and then you can see from specific things that it's a lie. No, you can't. The only reason we can detect lies is because they are expressed through emotions like guilt, shame, or even through indifference when they're trying to shut down that emotion. So make sure you find the neutral line, and if you have the neutral line, you'll be able to read people. Okay, now let's talk about some cool body parts that you can look at in order to see what the person is thinking. Okay. The most important that I see a lot of people neglecting are the feet. If you are in a position where you can see the person's feet, that is a very valuable asset, because the feet are the thing that we care about less. So usually we care about the face and what expression we are showing in our face, right? Since we're kids, our parents say don't make a frowning face or make a smile for other people, and so we are really good at controlling our face. And it's very hard to see emotions in our face, that are the true emotions in our face. You have to look at micro expressions. But if you look at the other extremity, the feet are always saying something, and you have to make sure you look at feet, not in a creepy way, right? You're not like, hey, let me look at your feet. No, like low key, just see where the feet are pointing once in a while to see what the reaction is according to the things you're saying. And so feet can tell you basically where the person wants to go. For example, if a person is standing, usually one of the feet will be in a neutral position and the other one will be pointing somewhere, or also in the neutral position. If they're towards you directly, that can be, sometimes it can look too intimidating and they might be angry at you. But if their legs are crossed, that means they want to stay in the conversation. And if they're towards you, of course. If their whole body, but their head is looking at you, that means that, well, they don't really want to be there, to be honest, and they're not really trying to hide it anyways. And if one of their feet is neutral and the other one's pointing, then that's the direction where they want to go, and it can be the exit to another person if they're attracted to somebody. I really like to use these small things in order to control a conversation. So as soon as I see that a person is losing their interest, I snap them back up and say, I step a little bit back, so there's like a pivot, instead of giving them the power by their mind thinking that they want to leave or they want to go somewhere else. I step back, and in order to be as smooth as possible in the conversation, to be charismatic, I say, hey, I'm just gonna get a drink. And so instead of waiting for a person to exit the conversation, you exit first, because you understand what you're feeling. And so they'll always think, whoa, this guy seems like he knows what I'm thinking, or like exits exactly at the right moment and comes in exactly when he should. And so you start to be seen as more charismatic because you know what people are thinking. But that's your secret, right? Nobody knows. I mean, you can actually share this information, and it's actually pretty cool, because it's a really good conversation topic. And people are like, whoa, really? They're like, whoa, what is this? And they try to understand, also try to read your own body language. All right, the other thing is eyes. Eyes obviously are the key to the soul, right? So eyes can tell you a lot of things. But eyes, people are also really good at hiding what they think through their eyes, right? But a lot of things can come up, like if you have one of the eyes more open than the other, that means that side of the face is also more open, which means that the person, which might mean different things. If the right side is more open, that means that they're more open in a interested fashion, in a logical fashion. It's the right side of, well, actually the left side of the brain, but it's connected to the right side of the face and the right side of the body. And we'll talk about that in a second. And so that's the logical part. And if you see it more open, they're interested in what you're saying. Like this, it kind of looks weird, right? But that's what it is. But it also might mean if the eye is closed and this one's more open, they might be a little bit stressed out, and they might be a little bit depressed in their life. But if this side is more open, they're more interested emotionally in what you're saying for themselves, actually. And especially if this eye is closed, you might even have a sign of attraction if this eye is more closed and this is more open, which is great to see as well, Also, a really good thing to think about is the white part in the eyes. If you see the white part in the top of the eyes, it can be exaggeration, it can be fear, it can be, you gotta see the context, obviously. It's just high emotions, especially it comes up, usually appears with shrugged shoulders, which means also high tension. And it can be a really good thing, oh my God, or it can be like, oh my God, we're gonna die, something like that. Just imagine the movies when they see like a tsunami or something, like, oh damn, they're like freezed. If you see the bottom of the eye, that's not the best thing to see, to be honest. It can be negative emotion. And now this doesn't mean that the person doesn't like you, because some people have really big eyes and you can automatically see the bottom. But if in general you always see the bottom with that person, that means they might not like you too much, especially both bottoms. When a person is enjoying a conversation with you, they'll do this. You can actually control the muscles, and you'll see that my lower eyelids are connecting to my iris, and and so there's no white space. But if I do this, I believe, yeah, do this, you can actually see the white, and that means that person might not like you too much. Okay, and the last thing is also the posture and hands, and how you can measure and see what kind of job a person has by their hands and their posture. So the posture can mean that you're confident or unconfident. Most people will walk with a very bad posture, with the head towards the front and the neck as well, and their shoulders in front, and they won't really have a great posture. It also might show if they have a strong or weak personality. For example, a lot of military folks, they have great posture. You see that they're disciplined, they know what they're doing, and they're there for business. But for example, a person has a white collar job, bad posture is a result of that, because you're in the computer all day and you're in a really bad position, especially if you don't go to the gym. If you go to the gym, you know how to correct this. You need to do rows, pull-ups, and you need to work the front of your neck to bring it here to the back, as you can see. But if you're just have a white collar job, you might have this bad posture, and it just gives you a bad look. So make sure you fix that in the gym. Also, if you look at the person's body, if a person has muscles, this can also show you that they have dedication for something outside of themselves. They take care of their own body. You don't need to have muscles, you can be fit, you know what I mean? But if you have muscles, you can be sure that the person put a lot of work into it. If they didn't take steroids, okay? That's also a red flag if they take steroids. I mean, it depends. If you're doing professionally, yeah, but if you're just doing recreationally, not the best. But if you see that the person isn't doing steroids and they dedicated the time, you can be sure that they have dedication. And also, of course, with the hands, there's a lot of things that fingers say, by the way, and how you grab fingers and stuff, but we're not going to talk about that. At least if you guys want me to talk about more body language stuff, I'll do more videos about it. But basically, hands can tell you if a person lifts, for example, they have calluses, how thick the skin of the hand is. You can feel when you handshake a person what kind of job they have. If they have the really thick hands and maybe a little bit dirty in the fingertips, they might be a mechanic, or they might ride the bike like me to work, and so that's why they have the black fingertips. But yeah, you can see what type of job they might have from their hands. Anyways, those are some cool body parts that you can look at in order to read a person. But the overall main idea of the body is that we have two sides of the brain. We have the right side and the left side. This is from my perspective, right? So my left side, this connects to all my right features of my body, including my face, my neck, and all right side, my right arm, and all the way down to my right leg, okay? And my right side of the brain connects to all my left side of the body. And don't explain me why this happens, but it's basically in your neck, the nerves cross, and that's how it works all the way down. And so that's why it's switched. And so basically the left side, which represents the right side of the body, in my perspective, is the more logical side, the more negative sometimes, the more off-putting. And so if somebody touches or emphasizes that side of the body with a head tilt or whatever, or scratch, you can know that they might not be in the best of emotions. And you have to take things cautiously and understand what's the problem so you can fix it. If you have a lot of action from the left side, it can actually be a good thing. Or if it's in the back of the body, it's never a good thing because it's hiding something. But if it's in the front of the body and it's exposed, it's actually a good thing because they're expressing good emotions, and they like being around you probably, or whatever, in whatever situations they are. Anyways, I hope this helped you out to understand how body language works. And if you want me to make more videos about body language and how this helps you in business, make sure to go down below in the comments and let me know. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe, because we post videos every day about business, entrepreneurship, and apparently also body language. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, it helps a lot. And I'll see you next time. Peace.